Hi everybody, I am Bear with BearIndependent.com. Thank you for being here today. We are talking about basic, intermediate, and advanced preparedness in the prepper classroom. This is more of a conceptual lesson, and I believe that the whiteboard is here more for me to organize my thoughts than it is necessarily for me to scribble down a bunch of benchmarks for you to achieve for basic, intermediate, and advanced preparedness. This is my interpretation based upon my experiences and my gut feelings and my blood, sweat, tears using my hands to do all of this. Study group of one, focus group of one, this is what I've come up with. And again, they're more conceptual than they are hard and fast benchmarks. When you have this many rounds of .22 long rifle, you're an advanced prepper. I tend to not think in terms like that, and the simple reason is what's good for me is not necessarily good for you in the micro. And so that's why I like to talk about macro concepts here. Now, this concept in of itself came from our buddy J.S. Badger. Bless you, brother. Thank you. You are tremendous. And I do believe he's going to do some videos on this as well. So, brother, post the links to your video. It's not even a video response. They're your videos. But you emailed me about this, and here we are. So, that's not a G. There we go. Basic, intermediate, and advanced preparedness. By the way, that's right. See that right there? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Except me. Thank you, Okie. Okie Storm Chaser. So let's talk. All right, so I've got my basic column, intermediate column, and advanced column. Again, this is just stuff that I've seen and experienced and frankly, been there myself. We all start somewhere, right? And when I started, I was a noob, bro, N00B, noob. So, I feel like I'm about to piss off half or more of the internet. Oh well, here we go. Basic food. Got my 72-hour kit. Cool. And I'm probably not going to pontificate on the specific value of having any of these things because this would be a 4-hour long video if I did. 72 hours. Better than nothing. Yes. Not good enough, says me. But great place to start. Intermediate for me is 1 year. 1 year of food for you and everybody in your family and everybody you are responsible for. I'm coming to your house. All those people, a year of food for them. Advanced, 2+ years of food as well as the ability to produce food. Production. By the way, bear with my scribblage. That's a word. Put it in the Webster's. Scribblage. You're welcome. 2+ years plus the ability to produce food, not just stockpile food. Water. Usually basic preppers are like, water? Man, I got a steel bottle and some drops. I'm good. And then you really start to do your homework and you're like, I am not good. All right, okay, I'm going to stock 1 gallon per day. Whoa, that's not enough. All right, I'm going to stock 3 gallons per day per person. That's not enough. Okay, right? So water seems to be scavenging it when you're new. You're like, I got my steel cup thing and my canteen cup and I'm good. And then from there it seems to be like storing water. Yeah, I got some water storage. And then advanced seems to be like catchment, like rainwater catchment and multiple sources of water. Wells, creeks, streams, lakes, water storage, rural water, municipal water, catchment, blah, 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 right? So lots of redundancy there. Sanitation. Basic is like, huh? I need sanitation? Yeah, that says, huh. Huh, never thought about it. Because I find that most new preppers don't think about it, even though dirty water and poor sanitation kill more people right now in rule of law than anything else. So what's it going to be like without rule of law? Or when the stuff hits the fan, man, when the zombies are kicking your door in. Or whatever. Sanitation. Intermediate is like some. I got some stuff. I got some bleach, got some soap. got some stuff. I mean, we have some stuff. And then advanced, I just literally wrote all of it. Advanced level seems to be that you're like really forward thinking on what do we use right now, what is our consumption, and how do we add depth to our consumption as well as width to what we could consume that we don't consume right now, like thieves oil, bleach, pool shock, blah blah blah, right? Sanitary napkins, pads, tampons, diapers, reusable diapers, whatever, right? So basic is like, oh, I didn't even think about it. Intermediate's like, yeah, we got some stuff, and advanced is going deep and wide on all of that. Weapons seems to start with like, in prepping, a lot of preppers start with like, I got the stuff. I got this gun and I got this gun and this one does this one's cool. It goes, yeah, did you see that? It's awesome. And then I have this pistol and this one, and yeah, it's a high point, but whatever. I was broke and in college, and yeah, it's a high point, right? It all starts, or at least for a lot of guys, it starts with guns. And I think the reason for that is guns solve the immediate problem. They're right now, and there's a time and place for them. You guys know we're doing it. G5. 19. I'm sorry, 17. There we go. Because right now, if somebody busts through my door and decides we're in a deadly force engagement, it's going to be better to have that than, say, this. Which would you rather have? I'm going to go with this guy. That guy. I want that guy. Now, this will work, but not as effectively, right? So guns in a deadly force engagement solve our immediate problems. And then as you kind of press out from there, it's like, what do we do when we don't need to shoot somebody? Right? And then you start to get a little bit deeper. So with weapons, it kind of starts like, pew pew, man, I got all the stuff, and I got the 22 takedown thing that goes in the bag, and it does I got all of it. And then it turns into like, operator, yeah, I've got this Scar 17S with the Trigicon on it. I turned cover into concealment, man. That's right, yeah, one time I shot a hole through the International Space Station with this thing. That's right, open sights, yeah, at a bajillion meters. I do all the things. Cool story, bro. And then from there, in my perception, it turns into actual training with said platforms. I don't care how much your rifle costs, how much your optic is, what the effective range of it is. If you can't actually go walk onto, at minimum, a square range and actually hit your freaking target with it, it does not matter. Other than, what's the maximum effective range of a Barrett 50 cal? 0 if you don't know how to shoot it. Effective range. If you can't hit what you're aiming at, it's not effective. Okay, so advanced is actually getting training for these things. Again, when we look at medical would be something like an IFAC. I've got a blowout kit on my deuce gear, my tactical load-bearing vest, or whatever. Cool, you should. I mean, y'all know me. I'm constantly running around in my back pocket, because I firmly believe that if you're going to carry a way to make holes, you should have a way to plug holes. And in this case, the field expedient method would be a tourniquet, right? If I get hit, I'm not going deep into this philosophy, right? But if I have to use this thing, right, there's a chance, a high one, like 100% chance that somebody's shooting at me. Well, if they're shooting at me, I could get hit. It's nice to be able to do something about that. What do you got? 42 seconds? If you get shot through the femoral artery, 42 seconds, then you lose blood pressure, you pass out, and guess what? You're not affecting self-aid once you're passed out, you're bleeding out. So, at a minimum, IFAC. And then next from there is like trauma kit level, like a level 2 kit. Maybe there's like a pressure cuff in there and a stethoscope, and you're learning how to use these things, and that's great, and you should, SAM splint and how to, set a bone maybe, or at least stabilize an injured limb, so forth, so on. And then from there, advanced is like SF medic, everything. kill you dead, and then raise you from the dead again, put you back together. Like, all of it. Delivering babies in the jungle, like, all the things. And you could add to this, like, ER doc, trauma surgeon, like, stuff that's way, way above my head. And again, truthfully, and this would be a fun game to play, maybe I'll go back through this and point out where I am on all of this. But for me, on medical, I'm about here on trauma kit. I'm definitely not here. I might be just slightly past trauma kit. Nope. Commo. To the effect that preppers even consider commo, it's usually like my bow fang. I got my bow fang. And again, I'm not the commo guy. And then from there, it's like, okay, well, what happens if your bow fang breaks? And you start to think about, well, now what do I do? Okay, and that's where you get your PACE plan, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. Cool. Then what? I don't know. I know guys that are like, yeah, I got an HF rig that'll survive an EMP. Cool. That's good. I don't, but I know people. And then, so for me, advanced is redundancy, having a bunch of this stuff in different kits and the ability to recharge it and so forth and so on. But, again, I'm not the commo guy, but we do have people that can reach out and talk with other people at great distance, as well as we have interoperability of our equipment and the ability to communicate between cells, so forth and so on. Bug out. Most people, to the extent that they think about bugging out, usually start with, I'm going to the woods, man. Or some variation of that. It's like, how do I get out of my suburban house and into the wilderness? And I think eventually that the shine starts to wear off of that. You're like, you know what? That's not the best idea. And so for me, basic is woods. And then from there, it's like waypoints, meaning that I know where I'm going and I've put some thought on the intermediate level. I know where I'm going and I've put some thought in how I'm going to get from where I am to where I need to be, which we've discussed waypoints at length in multiple videos here. And then advanced, I would say, is spider points, meaning that you have multiple routes and multiple places that you can go to depending on what the threat profile is, where it's coming from, what it is, so forth and so on. Hey, the threat's coming from the southwest, let's go to the northeast, or whatever, okay? So, all right, for me personally, where am I at? Food. I'm definitely in the advanced column on food. We have a lot of food, and we are producing food, and it is our goal to get as close to 100% of our calories produced on property as possible. We're not there yet, but we're learning that now while we can, while our lives don't depend on it, because if they ever do, it's just been my experience that nobody learns how to do that overnight. So I want to make those mistakes now while I can, where the consequences are not dire, rather than under really dire extreme conditions where the learning curve can be deadly. I'm not interested in that. So we're in the advanced column for sure in food. Water. We are in the intermediate for water because we don't have catchment yet set up on our new place. But we are working in that direction. That's a spring 2020 thing. But we do have multiple sources of water. We have literally 10 different sources, independent sources of water, not including catchment on our property. So we do have that going for us. And I'd say once we have significant water catchment in place, then we would be into the advanced column on water. Sanitation. I'd say we're probably somewhere in between intermediate and advanced. I encourage my wife, hey, I don't know what girly stuff y'all prefer, so whatever girly stuff it is that y'all prefer, get it. And if a pallet of it shows up on the back of a UPS truck, I'm cool. Okay. One last thing, I don't know if you're a Pearl girl or a Tampax heavy day, I don't care. I just I don't care. Whatever you need, get it. So, and this is frankly my wife's department anyway, but for example, we could also say in sanitation, what's your poo plan, bro? When the water stops flowing, where are you going to go potty? So for us, that would be right now we have composting toilet buckets and medium for composting toilets. We don't have an outhouse. I know where I want one, but I haven't built one yet. And as we all know, if it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. So I'd say we're somewhere in between intermediate and advanced on that. Weapons, I'm going to go ahead and just say we're in the advanced column. Other than that tragic boating accident, and now I have literally 0 firearms. Other than that, we're good. I shoot regularly. I do a course of fire once per week that's documented on Patreon, both pistol and rifle. And then I also shoot with the tribe regularly. That's both pistol and rifle. And then I attend training events as well. And so am I, SEAL Team 6 Delta Ranger ODA International Space Station Turret Gunner certified? No. But I can hit a paper plate at pick a distance with whatever platform I'm holding in such a way to make those rounds count in an expedient manner. And I get the job done. So I'm going to say probably in this range. And once you hit advanced, it's a matter of continuing to develop width and depth, I feel. It's like, good, you're an advanced shooter with an M40 bolt action clone. Cool, let's get you advanced on this platform. Instead of 308 or 30-06, let's shoot 338 Lapua. How about 50 BMG? What about the 416? What about blah, 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 blah? Or, okay, you know how to, you have all the automaticity with an M4 clone platform that you don't have to think about that when you're changing mags, you're swiping at safety, dropping a mag, reinserting a mag, coming back off the safety, reacquiring your sights, blah, 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 blah. Cool. How about an AK-47 platform or all of its various clones? Do you know how to do this thing and this, and the magazines go in this way, and right? And so there's always more width and depth. So I don't think you ever that's what I'm saying is I don't think it's wise to put check marks on these things. Boom, nailed the basic onto the intermediate, other than to maybe set your own benchmarks, your own internal benchmarks that when I get to here, and I think this is actually important, rejoice. When you get a year's worth of food up, awesome, celebrate. That's an awesome, awesome thing. You should acknowledge that. But I think once you transgress the box checker mentality, transcend the box checker mentality, and you get into the more advanced columns, it's width and depth, going deeper on these things. Food production, I will never know 1/10 of everything there is to know about making food come forth out of the soil. To the day that I die, if I dedicated the entirety of the remainder of my life to producing food, I wouldn't know 1/10 of what there is to know. And we're actually going to touch on that on the other whiteboard. Okay. Medical, talked about that. Where am I at? Weapons, actual training. Medical, talked about that. I'm your trauma kit plus guy, right? Puncture wounds, lacerations, arterial bleeds, things like that, I got you. Beyond that, I'm not your guy. I will hold on to one corner of the gurney, one corner of the litter, whatever we need. I will help get you to the guy or girl that can put you back together beyond that, but I'm not your guy. You don't want me doing field expedient surgery on you. You don't want me administering meds. I'm just not there yet. And medical is definitely one of those things where don't fake it till you make it. No. What's the first rule? Do no harm. And so I'm probably right here-ish, just slightly past. I have a trauma kit, like a good trauma kit, and I know how to use it. Beyond that, EMT level training and up, no. Nope. Definitely an area that I could get better at. What about commo? Y'all know me. I'm firmly in the intermediate, meaning that I have a cell phone and a ham radio and a CB radio and our, what are they? Our encrypted radios. I have all that stuff and I can Yeah, this is bear. Go for bear. I got that part down. Beyond that, well, the propagation of the angle of the wave, but the difference between the 2 meter and the 6 meters, and then it bounces off of the ozone layer, and then it comes back and it actually flows through this distal vein that does. Got none of that. Definitely a hole in my prepping that I need to work on. Bug out. I am clearly squarely over here in the spider points arena. We are blessed to have multiple places that we can go with multiple emplacements that if we need stuff, if we got to go right now, we can go right now. In addition to that, we have a firm bug out plan, a bug out kit that exists that's inventoried of stuff that's dedicated to go when we need to go. And we're constantly trying to improve that as well to further develop spider points and in place further material assets elsewhere. Should we need them, we can go get them at such a time. So I'm somewhere in here, depending on which subject we're talking about. And let's go over here. And these are kind of, again, getting back to concepts, these seem to be concepts that I see represented. Now, the butt hurt is going to get serious now. Here come all the thumbs down comments. These are concepts that I see that kind of personify basic versus advanced preparedness. And I'll do my best to scoot right through them. The basic preparedness mindset when you're brand new to this seems to be consumption. I'm going to buy my way out of this problem. I can Amazon this issue out of existence. Not a problem. The more you think about that, and you're like, I don't know about all that. That's going to be a problem. So the advanced iteration of this concept to me becomes production. Yes, there's lots of things. I would much rather have this Spyderco produced for me and be a consumer and buy it than have to produce this knife. And so there is a time and a place for everything. But especially when it comes to food, water, you really need the ability to produce or capture those things, not just buy your way out of the problem. The lone wolf mentality, and frankly, I started here, and this is one of the reasons why I give you all such a ration of crap about this, because I started there. But I'll tell you, when you get a wife and kids, when there's other people that become dependent upon you, when you build teams, you realize really quickly that it's way more than me. I am responsible for and accountable for way more than me. So I started here. I've been everywhere in a big green duffel bag. Everything I own fit in it, and whatever I had to do, whatever I needed to do, it had to fit in that duffel bag. I've been everywhere with a big green duffel, okay? Me versus the world. Let's go. It's not me versus the world anymore. Okay? Number one, I don't want it to be me versus the world. That's a hell of a fight. I ain't interested. Okay? Number two, I got a wife and kids. I have people that I'm responsible for. And number three, I've got a teams of people that I love and they love me back. And in the doing of that, this beautiful synthesis starts to happen where we can all set our egos aside to one degree or another, learn to work with each other, learn to love each other, to be accountable to one degree or another to each other, and form this thing where the value of the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And that is the team, tribe, mag concept, a group of people that are all working together towards a common goal. So, yeah, I chastise y'all lone wolves because I was one. I started there. But as I progressed through a decade plus of preparedness and life changes, I couldn't stay there. There's too much stuff to do for me to do it all by myself. And me being all by myself, I've done that. I've been alone. And I'm comfortable being alone, being by myself, but I experience a much higher quality of life when I'm with people that I love. And so I'm much more a proponent of the team versus the lone wolf, as y'all know. Basic is security, bro. I got him. Yes, we need that. And everybody wants to be on the security team. I'll be your security guy. More advanced turns into agriculture. What are you going to feed these security guys? And you guys know me, militant farmer concept. There's two core things here: the ability to run a rifle and the ability to run a shovel. It's not either or, it's both. But so many people start with the security aspect of it. Again, like we talked about with the pew-pews, with the weapons, it's because it solves that immediate need. It scratches that immediate itch. Well, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna get a gun. Okay, how's that gun taste? It's pretty terrible. Can we eat it? Nope, definitely can't eat that. Okay, what's next? Agriculture, right? Because that puts us into the production mindset of the advanced level of food for preparedness. Basic. Well, I watched it. I saw a video, Bear. I saw a video where this guy did this thing one time with a basic. I watched it. Advanced. I did it. You learn so much more by doing with your own two hands, seeing with your own two eyes, hearing with your own two ears, than you will ever learn watching even this video or any video. By the way, this is not training. It'll help you think. I hope it helps you think, but it's not training. Nothing, not a single thing on this YouTube platform is training. Training happens in real life, face to face. This is not training. It may be education. It may be entertainment. It may be edification, but it's not training. Basic bug out bag, question mark? I think we have one of those. There's a bag that I'm gonna throw some stuff in that if like zombies show up and stuff, versus understanding that the bug out location dictates the bug out vehicle, which dictates the bug out kit, which includes the bug out bag. So knowing where you're going and then knowing how you're getting there determines all the stuff that you can bring, the most basic of which is your man-portable system, which includes your bug out bag, versus I got a bag and I'm going to the woods when things get crazy. And then basic, I know everything there is to know about this preparedness. Got it. And especially when I was a younger man, boy, did I suffer from that. Which is interesting because I've always been pretty teachable. I've been fortunate to be raised by a cadre of older men who are like, sit down, shut up, pay attention, idiot. Yes, sir. You got it. But I guess it was because I didn't really have a preparedness mentor. That was a really fast string of syllables. Let's try that over again. But I guess it was because I didn't really have a preparedness mentor, somebody to steward me in that, and I had lived such an independent lifestyle. I was like, I got this. As you grow older, you realize, and this is the brilliance of age. I'm not fully gray yet, but man, there's a bunch of them in there sneaking up on me. I don't know anything. I know nothing. This is the teachable spirit. I might know 6 ways to do a pistol disarm. That doesn't mean that there's not 100 ways to do a pistol disarm. And maybe 3 of the 4 or 5 ways that I know how to do it are wrong, or wrong within a certain context. And so that's really, as you grow in anything, whether it's martial arts or firearms or mathematics or preparedness or whatever, you begin to learn that there's so much you don't know. You become more teachable. You know what you know, but you acknowledge that it's not the only thing. And so, now don't confuse that with my ability to speak with authority and conviction on a subject with which I have learned, right? And so there definitely is a dichotomy there, of which I was aware of that word before Jocko Willink. Thank you very much, Internet. There's definitely a push-pull there. You, me, anybody can speak on a subject with authority if they know, knowing that what they know is not the entirety of that subject. Does that make sense? It's the same reason that somebody can give a lecture on, Maslow's hierarchy of needs or the Mandelbrot equation without knowing every single iteration of the Mandelbrot equation, blah, 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 blah. Right? And so for me, basic is, yeah, man, I got this. I know everything. Stubborn versus, and again, that was me. That was me versus advanced. I know nothing, being teachable. Always acknowledging that there's room to learn, there's room to grow. That thinking is good. Thinking backed up by doing is even better. So anyway, even with trying to make this a quick video, I didn't. That seems to be one of my skill sets. Thank you, JS Badger, for bringing this concept to me. I appreciate it. And I will tell you, I spent 3 or 4 days thinking about and kind of sketching out what are benchmarks that I could put here. And I couldn't come up with one matrix of benchmarks that I was comfortable with because we're all different. So set your own benchmarks. Celebrate when you achieve them. And then keep going. Move forward. Get better. The whole reason I do this is to encourage you to get better than you are right now and to show you that it can be done, because I've done it. I've done it. I don't talk about a damn thing here at this channel I haven't done. I'm very rarely like, well, I think that, but yeah. I've done all of this. I've made the mistakes, and hopefully me making those mistakes can help you not make those mistakes. Hopefully me having done all this for the last decade shows you it can be done, and just constant forward progress, you can do it. I hope that you would share this with somebody that needs to see it. Please do the like, subscribe, share thing. Click the little bell if you want the notifications, if you want to be here. Humbly consider supporting us on Patreon. That's the baby bear up here somewhere. I don't need to tell y'all about YouTube's warfare against conservatives, but patrons, thank you. You are the economic engine of the Bear Nation. Without you, this content could not and would not exist. And I thank you very much. Go do the things, YouTube. Shalom and blessings.